thank you for joining me for my series, the video series I have here on Facebook, talking to women about PS Limitless Woman and what does Limitless Woman mean to them. If you're new to my channel, my name is Princella Stringer, and I'm an empowerment coach here in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and I am so blessed to be able to connect with women from all over, and my guest today is Michelle from California. And I'm so excited she's here today to talk a little more about what she does, because she will actually be one of our guests on August 17th here in Benton Harbor, Michigan. So if you know me and you're local, you'll have to come and visit us. Her and I did an interview earlier today for her channel. We had so much fun that we wanted to do it again and have her come visit here on my channel. Michelle, I'm so glad to have you, but I really want you to just take a minute to share a little more about what you do and tell everybody that's watching where you're at and why you decided to come over here to Benton Harbor for this event. I'm so excited you'll be coming and we'll meet face to face finally. But yeah, please do share what you do today.
So, hi everybody, I'm Michelle. As Priscilla had such an amazing introduction about me. Yeah, I feel like all excited and all pumped up. So I'm a transition life coach, and I help women going through life changes to overcome the fear of judgment, and I connect them with their confidence and their purpose. And the main thing that I do is I help them to bring out their beauty from inside out and turning their tragedy to triumph. And I do that because I came from a place where I had a car accident when I was 11 years old, and going through that journey, going through that accident journey, I had to go through a lot of recovery, surgeries, and my body, I wasn't taking care of my body, and that created a lot of permanent damage on my leg. So I'm only 4'4", I'm really short, very petite, and my legs looked really disfigured, and I walked with arm crutches, and I've been living this way my whole entire life. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of judgment that's going on, not just from other people, also coming from myself. I was always constantly thinking that, oh, people are laughing at me, people are pointing at me, they're looking at me for some reason, and that's all because I look different. I don't look normal. And I know that word normal can trigger a lot of word, because what's normal for you is not normal for me. But to me, my idea of normal is that image of women, on the television, on the magazine, on the social media, that beautiful body, that hourglass shape, that pear shape, that apple shape. No matter what shape you're in, you had a shape. But, turning around and looking at myself, I didn't have that shape. So I fit under no such category. So I start isolating out myself and put myself into the different category. So I was always playing small for the early part of my life. And that's what really inspired me to become a life coach. Not just because I went through that journey, but because throughout that journey, I have learned there's so much beauty within each one of us that I just didn't realize. I didn't see that, because I was so focused and so tied down in terms of, how do I look on the outside? But once I peel that away, just like you peel off the onion skin, you start peeling it away, you start to discover that there's a true beauty of who you are inside of you. Yeah. And I've learned the skills that I needed so that I can help people. I can help women and men sometimes too, because we all know men have that nagging voice in their head too, to let go of that fear of being judged, and that judgment coming from you and coming from ourselves.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are, where you grew up, what life you've lived, what's happened in your life. We all have that story that goes on in our mind. And I so admire your brevity to just be able to step out of something and just say, we all face these things and it's okay. I have absolutely loved getting to know you, because the conversations that we've been having about transparency and about how we all face these things, and the realness in saying, not only am I not perfect, but I am not perfect, and it's okay. You're not perfect either. And so the idea of having to feel like we have to put up a facade of perfection I have this education, I have this house, I have this money, I have this whatever it is, that we no longer have to hide behind any kind of facade of perfection, to just be and speak directly from the heart and connect with people.
Absolutely. And you're right, because a lot of time, because I see myself as there's something wrong with me, there's flaws. And so I'm trying to cover it up. I was trying to cover it up so hard by, staying small. My way of covering myself is staying small. I don't want to be seen by people. As much as I can be unnoticed, that's my intention. That's how I want it to be. For other people, it could be as little as putting on more mask at night, right? Or going to liposuction, or going to the facelift. People have different way of building that mask up, and it's all about hiding, so that we don't have to be seen, so that we don't have to be vulnerable and sharing those.
Yes.
And what I've learned is that by stepping out of our comfort zone, stepping out of and accepting for who we are, we really open up ourselves to connect with people.
Yeah, we really do. So where do you feel like this, was there something that happened that kind of transitioned your thinking from how you felt before? I don't want to label it with anything, but how you felt before to how you feel today. What was there a transition moment for you?
I would say throughout the whole journey, well, I spent almost 30 years before I finally went that aha moment. But I spent 30 years, and through that 30 years of lifetime, every little step I take there's a message that was given to me. I know you're a believer, and I call God the universe, because I feel that's the universe is really more unified, and it really encompasses a lot of different aspects.
Right.
So I think throughout that whole 30 years of journey, the universe had always sent me a message every now and then.
Yeah.
Michelle, this is what you got to do. Michelle, this is how you're supposed to look at things.
This is amazing.
Michelle, this is how you look at your life. But I keep pushing that away, because I was so focused in my drama in my head. I was so focused on the story that I created in myself. I just kept pushing it away. So one day I was having a crisis kind of thing. I was just sitting under a tree, and there's something about tree I really love.
Nature, or just the tree and protection?
The tree.
Yeah.
I think the tree actually have a lot of symbols behind them. It's a symbol of life. It's a symbol of strength. Because the fact that it grows from a little tiny seed to a beautiful, really tall, big tree that shade us and keep us, safe, and kind of like our sanctuary.
Yeah.
So there's something about tree I really love. And that day I was just, coming to an end, and I was just sitting underneath the tree. I was just sitting on the curbside, and I looked up to the sky, and there was like the wind that was blowing, and it was really comfortable that day. And I was just sitting there, and there was a voice in my head, and I start whispering to myself, I was questioning myself. And that was a moment where I said to myself, why am I here? Why do I even exist? Why do I have to be the one who have to suffer through all this? Like, how much is it? What is enough? Like, how is it going to, what's constitute enough? Like, when is it going to be enough? Like, why do I even exist? So I was sitting there and having all these questions being thrown at me, one after another. It was so unbearable. I was just crying, and I was just sitting there underneath that tree. And then finally there was a voice that came on, and the voice was just saying, Michelle, go home. It just said, go home. So it was telling me to go home. So I got up, I went home. And the next day I woke up, I wanted some change. I wanted to be different. It's like, someone just switched the light on for you. And then so I started, all right, I was already halfway on that journey already, but that was the moment when universe said, you know what, I'm going to give you a face slap, and I'm going to wake you up. And from here,
wow,
I'm going to be different. And it was like my epiphany, sort of.
Yeah.
Under the tree. Yeah.
Wow. So when you woke up and you had this feeling that you wanted things to be different, it wasn't the kind of I want things to be different from yesterday. It was a new different, right?
It was a new difference. And I couldn't tell what it was.
Right.
I couldn't tell, I couldn't pinpoint, okay, so I know I want to be different, but how do I want it different?
Right.
And then so I was waiting, and then after that, some like conversation just came along. A friend of mine, he has a nephew who has schizophrenia, and it was in that process that he was looking for help, and he mentioned the word life coach to me, and it was just like ding. I came home. It was like, okay. So I came home. I
Wow.
Googled life coach.
Yeah.
What is it? What does that entail? And what do life coach do? So I start looking. And then it started to dawn on me, oh my God, all these years, I've been so inspiring to people. So many people coming to me and then said, Michelle, you're such an inspiration for me. Michelle, watching you is so motivated.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing all that, but I don't have a name to attach to it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been helping people, but I don't have a name to attach to it. And that day, the next day after my transformation aha moment,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, here, this is what you need to do. Go, coach.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So now I feel like I really want to ask you now. I mean, did you have influences in your life? Who kind of, the way I speak of it is limitlessness, and limitless potential. And so one of the reasons that I invited you on is to talk about just that. What does limitless woman mean to you?
Mm-hmm. And so when you ask that question, what I thought was the music, like music. People ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite type of music? And I have to sit there and I have to think, well, oh my gosh, what is my favorite music? I feel like there's so many of them, and I can I love music and all different type of music. I like classical, I like rock and roll, I like oldies, and you name it, I love it.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of relate to that limitless woman. The word limitless woman really makes me think about every woman in the world. And I think every one of us, some way, one or the other, we're influencing each other by showing up our everyday life, by being vulnerable and coming out and sharing our story, telling our story. There's always that piece of resilience and your strength that coming off from you that makes you limitless.
Right. Wow.
So you and I are limitless.
Wow.
Like those women who's watching us, they are limitless.
Yes. Yeah.
And the men who's watching us, they are limitless too. I really see the whole, human race as we all bear gifts and talents. Each one of us are so unique and different that we all bring our talent and gifts to share to the rest of the world. But, because we're so busy in our own drama, listen to the voice that's telling us and keeping us small, that we don't come off as showing up and sharing our gift. And that to me is really selfish, right? So to be limitless is that you peel away all that noise and you silence off whatever is holding you back. You step in and be who you are, share your gift, whatever it is. There's something unique that you do so well that no one else does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that to me is limitless woman.
Oh man, I love that. Oh my gosh. And right now when you said something about it being selfish not to share our gifts, and the word that I use for that is like it's a disservice to our loved ones. We innately love our family and our dearest, closest friends that we've built a bond with and things like that. And when we don't share our talents and with each other, I feel like we're really doing a disservice to them and to ourselves, that we're not able to just be ourselves fully and unapologetically. And you're right. I mean, it is selfish because we're focused on ourselves in a way where, out of fear, and we're worried about judgment and all of these things, and so much of what you said, I resonate with. And I know that so many women that are listening to this, and as you said earlier, even men, I work with women, you work with men and women, which I love that. And so I want to be mindful of that also. But yeah, we all go through these things. And the more we have the conversation, the stronger we can be for it together. And really, as you said, have that trickle effect of affecting each other in a positive light, in a positive way. Giving you permission and her permission to be our limitless self, you know?
Yes. We need to, take ownership of who we are and really step into ourselves and just show up for who we are. And one of the quote that it's really not a quote, but I dedicated my book, which is coming out in September. I'm really excited.
It's coming out that soon? I didn't realize it was that soon. How exciting.
Yeah, it's coming out September. I just finished working on my final editing with my editor. So it's coming out September 22nd. It's called Perfectly Normal. So Perfectly Normal, right?
Yeah.
And that says a lot about me. And one of the sections I dedicated to my friends and family. And on the bottom, I said, you're all my student and my teacher. And I think that goes out to everybody who's watching this, you, me, everyone that we meet is our student and our teacher. Yeah. In every stages of life, there's always some pieces of information that we're supposed to learn from about ourselves from that person. Yeah. And there's something that we're giving back to that person. That person can take it away and learn that about themselves. It's not about the lesson that you learn about that other person. Yeah. It's about what you learn for yourself.
Yes. Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So who were some influences in your life? Were there people, or was there a woman in particular, or people in your life that really influenced you in this direction?
I would say my mom. Because my mom really was there every step of the way, from the moment that accident happened and all the way. And for a while, between college to graduate school, I started to notice I couldn't walk very far without assistance, without my crutches. And for a while, I was so proud, I didn't want to use the crutches because I didn't want to be seen abnormal using crutches. So I ended up using the crutches. Between that transition, my mom was my crutches. So everywhere I go, she was there holding my hand. We went to different places. We visited a lot of areas, and she was always there for me. Yeah. So she plays a very, very important part in my life. And she's living with me now. And, when you get a chance, when my book come out, when you get my book, when you start reading my book, there's section where I mentioned about my relationship with my mom and my family. And a lot of it is very, we're very conservative. So we don't talk about love, in our family. I never said, to my parents, I love you, because that's not something that was brought up. But you'll learn that, it's in my book, and there's a lot of pieces about my family. So my family, my mom especially, is a great influence for me.
Wow. What an amazing story. I cannot wait to hear when your book comes out. And I so wish it was going to be out in August so we can have it at the event.
I can do a pre-sale.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So thank you so much for joining me. Our interview earlier was amazing. This will come on a Friday, and I'm so excited to be able to share with our audience who will be coming to the event, who they'll get to see at the event. As a matter of fact, for the event, I should mention also that we have 6 other, well, actually, no, it would be 5 other, because you and I make 7, that will be there sharing stories about our path and our walk and what led us to make decisions and do different things in our lives. And some of us are life coaches, some of us are business coaches and things of that nature. And all of that information will be on the link that I'll put below. But I'm so happy that you're joining and watching. And if you have any questions for Michelle, leave questions here in the comments. If you'd like to hear more about what she does or her book, please leave a comment, and I know that she'll hop on there and send a message to you. Yep. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you. Actually, you'll be here on the 16th. We'll hang out. We'll go to the event the next day and hang out again.
We're going to have a happy hour. You need to tell people that. We're going to have a happy hour. So this is why you guys need to come out there All right, you're gonna hang out with really high energy people, and it's gonna make you so happy. It's gonna fill up your heart, fill up your life, and you'll walk away with skills that you're gonna need,
Yeah.
and that you can get from all these amazing women. And we talk like on a daily basis. There's so much I have learned from Priscilla. I have so much learned from like other speakers. It's just an amazing synergistic environment.
It truly has. And, you know, as you say, the universe, as I say, God, I mean, all of it has been definitely led by a higher power, kind of orchestrating and directing how this is going to come to be. And it felt so fluid and natural how we all really mesh around this topic of empowerment.
Yes.
And so it's so exciting. I can't wait for you
it.
all to meet her in person and for us to get to share what we have to share. And it's just going to be so much fun.
I'm
So,
gonna give you a virtual hug now.
yes,
Virtual hug.
I love it. I will take it. And your glass of wine. I'll take a sip of your glass of wine too.
Oh, here you go. Cheers.
Okay, Michelle, I'll see you soon, and I'm sure we'll talk again, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.